Philip Zimmerman was stationed at Camp Gordon in Georgia during the Korean War. The US at this point had lost more than 30,000 soldiers. And one Friday night, Rabbi Zimmerman was preparing his chapel for the servicemen who would come in for prayer services, and a young, anxious soldier walked in. He said, "Chaplain, I need a very big favor. I'm holding 3 letters here. The first is an order notifying me that I'm going to be shipped overseas on Sunday morning to fight in Korea. The second and third letters are from my parents' cardiologist. You see, my parents are Holocaust survivors, and I'm their only child. They're both very sick and frail, and the cardiologist wrote here that he's afraid that they could die from the shock of finding out that I was sent to Korea." So Rabbi Zimmerman said, "We're in the middle of a war. I don't know if there's anything that I could do to help you, but of course I'll try." So the next morning, Shabbat, Sabbath morning, Saturday morning, Rabbi Zimmerman woke up early and walked 7 miles to the command post, hoping to speak to the commanding officer. General James, the commanding officer, greeted the rabbi and said, "Chaplain, what are you doing here so early?" So Rabbi Zimmerman said, "I have a huge favor that I need to ask you, sir." He explained the whole situation from the young soldier about his elderly parents, that they're in very bad health and they could die if they find out that he was sent to Korea. He showed the general the letters, and he requested that the order be changed. So General James listened very intently, looked at the letters, and looked back at Rabbi Zimmerman and firmly said, "Chaplain, we're in the middle of a war. There will be no reassignment and no transfer." So Rabbi Zimmerman turned to walk out and began his 7-mile walk back to where he had been stationed. And the general who was standing there at the door called to him and he said, "Chaplain, where's your Jeep?" He said, "I have no Jeep." He said, "No Jeep? How'd you get here?" He said, "I walked, sir. Today is our Sabbath, and as a Jew, I'm not supposed to drive a car or be driven in one." He said, "You walked 7 miles to help that serviceman, and now you're going to walk another 7 miles back for him?" He said, "Yes, sir." The general said, "Come back in my office." As Rabbi Zimmerman walked back in, General James picked up the phone and called Colonel Wright, the second in command at the base. General James handed the colonel the soldiers' letters and said, "Colonel, I want this serviceman to be transferred immediately to Governor's Island in New York with very specific orders that he is to visit his elderly parents every single night." You know, in life, when you care deeply about another person and you do everything in your power to help without compromising your values one iota, you never know how God will bless your efforts.